WXII 12 News. This is breaking news.
That breaking news comes out of Winston-Salem. Tonight, police have just confirmed a teenager has been shot and killed.
WXII 12's Brandon Bates is on the scene for us tonight. Brandon, what have you learned?
Well, tonight we're standing on the corner of Main and Wright Streets here in Winston-Salem, and we just heard recently that it is a 15-year-old male who was shot and killed here tonight. This is very early on in the investigation. You can see a lot of police out here, very active scene, as the victim still on the street tonight, blocked by the cars and a police barricade. We're told the call came in around 7:40 tonight, and when EMS got here, they found that 15-year-old dead on the scene here on the street. Shortly after it happened, we talked to somebody here on scene who said they were a family member of the boys, and she was understandably shaken up. She says she doesn't know who would do something like this and just wants whoever did this to be caught. Now, police do not have a suspect in this case. As I said, this is very, very early on in this investigation. But again, a young 15-year-old male was shot and killed here in Winston-Salem tonight. Reporting in Winston-Salem, Brandon Bates, WXII 12 News.
All right, thank you, Brandon. We are working to learn more about two deaths now under investigation in Winston-Salem. This happened along the 3900 block of Everett Road, about half a mile from the Heather Hills Golf Course. Forsyth County Emergency Services received reports of a shooting just before 4 p.m. They say two people were found dead. Investigators have been at the home all night collecting evidence, and we'll bring you more details as they come into the newsroom.
Next to the weather now, we're getting you ready for some rain making its way back into the region. This is part of a system that's already proving to be deadly in different parts of the southeast. Chief Meteorologist Lainey Pope is in tonight. Lainey, how strong is this storm going to be for us here in the Triad?
Well, what we're going to notice most from this is some rain and then a big temperature change. And you're taking a look out to the west, you can see the line of rain as well as severe thunderstorms, mainly in the form of tornadoes over Mississippi and Alabama. Now, not anticipating that severe weather to move into our area, but we are going to be seeing some of the wet weather. You can see a number of tornadoes have touched down over Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. It is that contrast in air masses between the very cold and the very mild air that is creating this environment over the deep south, which will continue tonight. Now, for us, we're looking at just a few light rain showers that will start to move in overnight, and then looking at some heavier downpours perhaps by the time our morning commute rolls around. You can see here about 7 a.m. and you see some heavier showers there just moving into the western Triad. But notice that the temperatures are very mild when we start our day. They'll be in the mid to maybe even upper 50s tomorrow morning with some scattered rain for your morning commute.
Huge Commitment 2020 news tonight with less than 4 days left in the candidate filing period. 6th District incumbent Republican Congressman Mark Walker says he will not run for re-election next year. Instead, he is looking ahead to 2022. Congressman Walker says he came to this decision after President Trump told him he would enthusiastically back his bid for North Carolina's soon-to-be open U.S. Senate seat when incumbent Richard Burr retires. Walker also co-chairs the president's North Carolina re-election efforts. In a statement, he says for 2020, his focus will be on helping GOP candidates for Senate and governor. His political future has been in question for several weeks now after the redrawn congressional map now favors a Democrat in NC6. His office also recently commissioned polls to see how he would do if he ran against Republican incumbent Senator Thom Tillis or against another Republican 13th District Congressman Ted Budd. But again, Mark Walker choosing not to run next year. The state Republican Party chair released a statement regarding tonight's development. Quote, Mark Walker has been a tireless servant for the people of the 6th Congressional District. He has stood as an unapologetic conservative to defend our Second Amendment rights, protect the sanctity of life, and advance an America First agenda. On behalf of North Carolina Republicans, I would like to thank Mark for his service to our state and the conservative cause.
Congressman Walker is praising the passage of legislation that restores VA contracts for IFB Solutions and National Industries for the Blind. The issue of policy change came up last year that prioritizes veteran-owned small businesses over Ability One agencies that employ the visually impaired. The VA's contract with IFB expired in August, cutting dozens of jobs. Now, Walker says the passage of the Department of Veteran Affairs Contracting Preference Consistency Act protects jobs for people who are blind and for veterans. The next Democratic presidential debate is scheduled for this Thursday at Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles. But all 7 candidates who qualified to debate are now threatening to boycott over a labor dispute that's happening on campus. Now, DNC Chairman Tom Perez is calling for a deal and says that he will not cross the picket line of Sodexo service workers at the university. A local union representative says that talks should resume at some point tomorrow.
Well, right now the country is just 48 hours away from an historic decision by Congress, a vote on whether to impeach the president for just the 3rd time in the history of our country. NBC's Kristen Welker has late details now from D.C.
As President Trump braces for impeachment, the Democratic-led House is gearing up for a vote Wednesday on 2 articles, abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. The House Judiciary Committee report overnight arguing the president betrayed the nation by abusing his high office. Now, some Democrats in swing districts are feeling the heat, like Michigan Congresswoman Elissa Slotkin, who faced mixed reaction when she announced she's voting yes.
I made this decision out of principle and out of a duty to protect and defend the Constitution. I feel that in my bones.
That after Democratic New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew, who also represents a Trump district, signaling he plans to switch parties. His constituents sharply divided.
He's lost my vote.
I think it's a very good thing. He believes in what Donald's done.
If the president is impeached, the matter goes to the Senate for a trial, where Trump allies are making their position clear.
I think what's best for the country is to get this thing over with.
And tonight, Minority Leader Chuck Schumer pushing for witnesses to testify, including Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney and former National Security Advisor John Bolton.
If Leader McConnell doesn't hold a full and fair trial, the American people will rightly ask, what are you, Leader McConnell, and what is President Trump hiding?
Meanwhile, tonight, President Trump is defending his personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, who was recently back in Ukraine investigating the Bidens.
He sees all of the hoax that happens when they talk about impeachment hoax or the Russian collusion delusion.
And that was Kristen Welker reporting. Demonstrations are planned across the country tomorrow in support of President Trump's impeachment. Here locally, an Impeach and Remove event is being organized in Winston-Salem at Grace Court Park. That begins at 5:30. Now, folks, a bipartisan deal on a government spending bill would, for the first time in 2 decades, provide money for federal research on gun safety. A law adopted back in the 90s has effectively blocked research and also prohibits federal agencies from engaging in advocacy on gun-related issues. The spending bill is set for a House vote as soon as tomorrow. It would provide $25 million for gun violence research, divided evenly between the National Institutes of Health and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Guilford County Schools Board of Ed gets together tomorrow, and members could vote to give pay raises to staff. Next year's budget includes $1.6 million for a salary increase for non-certified staff. These are folks like bus drivers, office support, and tech staff. The budget also includes $3.7 million for state-mandated salary and benefit increases. A North Carolina school district is taking action tonight against a school resource officer who violently slammed a middle school student, and there is video of the incident. Before we play it, we do want to warn you, some of you may find this disturbing. A security camera shows the moment that the officer slams an 11-year-old to the ground, then picks him up and throws him to the ground again. He then drags that student down the hall. Vance County investigators have fired that school resource officer. They say his actions are unacceptable and egregious.
As a school system, as an administrator, as a district, we're disappointed. As a community, we're embarrassed. No student should ever experience this in any way.
The SRO had been with the local police department for the last 2 years with no prior issues. The sheriff says the boy had a bump on his head but was not hospitalized. For the second time in 10 days, Forsyth Tech is forced to go on lockdown after reports of shots being fired near campus. This happened just before noon along Weatherwood Court, not far from Forsyth Tech. It is still unclear if they ended up finding anything near the school, but authorities say no one was hurt.
Right now, the search is on for an Asheboro murder suspect. Asheboro police tell us that Joseph Green Jr., seen here, shot and killed Roy Elliott Saturday night on Tipton Drive. Elliott was pronounced dead at the hospital. Tonight, a 42-year-old now faces kidnapping and robbery charges after two women say that he held them against their will in Randolph County. 6 days ago, the women told deputies that Jonathan Willard broke into a home on Highway 22 North. And when they arrived, they say the man on your screen, Willard, ended up taking their phones, attacked them, and threatened them with the weapon. The victims were able to escape hours later.
New tonight, Boeing says it will temporarily stop production of its grounded 737 MAX jet starting in January. The company is struggling to get approval from regulators to put this plane back in the sky since March after two crashes killed 346 people. Boeing says it does not expect any immediate layoffs at an assembly plant in Washington state, but says job cuts could ripple through some of the 900 companies that supply parts to make these planes.